Yes, you. I didn't want to say you with the hair.
All weekend with the hair. First of all, I want to congratulate you. Seriously, Northlanders is an amazing book.
Thank you.
Super kudos to you for that. It's phenomenal. Go down in history as one of probably the best books.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. It's right up there, dude. It'll go down in 20 years like 300. I mean, it's just an amazing book.
Thank you.
And just brilliant. But my question to you is, one of my personal things I'm working on is adapting Shakespeare plays into comics. And I have a question like, to what extent do you give yourself the liberty of just artistic license, to, the faithfulness to how you feel about the source material, but, and to like, how faithful do you want to be to it, or just being your own creative individual?
Well, kind of I don't think I've ever adapted anything.
Okay.
Trying to think if I've ever had a source material to worry about. I don't know.
Sort of like Generation X guidelines versus.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to think. That was a long time ago. and I didn't really know what I was doing there. Really. It was a co-writing job with Warren. And at the beginning, I mean, he did really teach me how to write, because at the beginning, he basically sent in a full script. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, please don't do anything. Just collect the check and look at the script. And gradually, he would send in, the next script was a script without the dialogue, which I wrote. And then he would send in just like an outline. So he kind of gradually moved me onto it. As far as Generation X go, I think, I just remember, just because I liked those characters, I kind of brazenly, I think, ignored everything I didn't like about it. Which I'm not saying this is the way to go. And I just think I just sort of conveniently forgot the stuff I didn't want to deal with, which is really bad. As far as you're concerned, I don't even know how you would go about adapting Shakespeare. That sounds like a pretty ambitious thing.
It's turning out okay. I just like, as far as like editing, cutting things out, like what's important, what's not important, like how to make those decisions.
Yeah, I wish I had anything to say about that, but I really don't. I really think you're.
I'm going to try to.
You've got a challenge in front of you. Yeah. No, I think because I watch a lot of one of the guilty pleasures around the house is like masterpiece theater, and like we watch a lot of when they adapt Dickens or something. And I've read all the Dickens books, and like I look at like a 900-page Dickens novel that someone put into like a 2-hour TV show, and I'm like, I don't know how they can do that. I mean, and they do leave out like entire characters, entire subplots. I mean, granted, Dickens is really complex that way. But I think, I would guess if I had to do something like this, I would just sort of look at it, I would like zoom out from it as much as I could and said, if you're looking at the ending of the book, how this book ends, what in there is 100% necessary to get you to that ending, right? And then you take those and you put those mentally into one pile. And then you're like, what's left, what just like enhances the story in like a fun or pleasurable way, and then you can sort of put those into a pile, and then hopefully you're left with stuff that you feel like you can not use, although it sounds horrible. Shakespeare. That kind of breaking down and separating is how I kind of approach everything, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I think that's how I would start. Whether that's a good idea or not, I don't know. But that's how I would try it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, good luck with it. It's crazy. Yep.
So, did the strings in your head ever get tangled up? Because you got like Northlanders, DMZ, and like it's totally different.
I'm writing 5 things at once. The really crazy thing, and it's okay if I say this because it doesn't mean anything yet, but I wrote a treatment for a DMZ TV show, which doesn't mean anything. I was asked to write it, but it's not like anybody has like bought the rights and is going to make a show. But I was asked to like write this. So that's a whole other level of strings in my head, because now I have basically a different DMZ in my head that I have to keep separate from the book story DMZ, because I had to change a lot for the TV show. and I actually think some parts of the show outline are better than the book. And now I have to keep writing the book according to like the old plan, which is actually like really kind of heartbreaking. Keeping those stuff. Yeah, no, it's not that bad. And what I generally do, like if I finish a DMZ script on a Monday, I generally pretty much have to start on like a Northlanders one the very next day. So I just basically read the last two scripts I've written. Like if I have to write Northlanders 10, then I'll read 8 and 9 first, and that usually clears it out, clears my head out enough. I remember I think I asked Warren that, and I don't know if this is what he does because it's kind of a funny mental image, but he does like some kind of acting trick. Like I don't know if he reads his scripts aloud. I don't know what he does. He said something like, like he stands in front of a mirror and like, I don't know what he does. So just something where he reads aloud parts of the scripts, I think he said, to kind of get into the character of it, I assume. I don't know. I just read the scripts in my head quietly. And sometimes I'll like play music or something. Music isn't something I generally listen to while I work, because it either completely interferes with my thought process or I completely tune it out, and then I wonder what's the point of even having it playing. So I generally work, quietly. So that's usually yeah. It's not that bad. You generally can like sort of like have everything in different parts of my brain, I guess. So yeah.
How much, when you're structuring the story, how much of it is you figuring out the beginning, middle, and the end, and how much of it is just you sitting down and making something up?
That's very, very good. I think most of the time, I have it all outlined. I have notebooks of which I outline things by hand. This is a very specific trick I do. Not a trick, I should say. It's just something I do, where I will sort of outline a single issue on a single notebook page, and I'll do it according to my own weirdness and whims of my brain. I can't do it on more than one piece of paper, because I have to like be able to look at a single piece of paper and see the entire issue as like a snapshot. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it makes sense to me. So I cram everything onto this one page, and I'll sort of start off. This is kind of how I break down scripts too. It applies to like a single page and then a script. Is I'll figure out what the point of this is, in like a very, very, very broad sense. Like what point am I making in this page or this issue? Then I figure out, okay, like then what's the beginning and what's the ending? Where do I start and where do I finish? And then I'll start writing down notes like points to hit in the script. Like, I want to say this, I want this character to think this, the general points. And then I'll literally write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all page numbers on this notebook page. And I'll just start writing what I think happens on each page. And then I'll write down like any other notes that have to happen there. So it's literally like taking something taking apart into its pieces. And then once I'm at that point, once I have this single page outline, pretty much the script is written now. So now when I sit down in front of the computer, in theory, it should be quick, because I have all the hard stuff done.
Right, of course.
It's not always that easy, because I'll start writing and then I'll realize that something isn't working right, so I'll have to stop and fix it.